welcome. I'd like you just to let me know if you can hear me, see me properly. Type in yes before we start. We just want to make sure that the audio is good. Yep, perfect. It's good. Okay. Okay. Thank you. We're so grateful to have everyone here for the exciting lash lift from Respect. So this is what our webinar is going to be today about. So I know everybody's excited using this. We know it's very popular service out there. We hear it all over Instagram, the craze to get the lashes lifted. So today we're going to talk about a little bit the product, and then also do a live demo with the lovely Kippy over here. Okay, so before I start doing the demo, maybe some of you can tell me if you've tried it. Maybe just type in yes, no, give us a little bit of a feedback, and I'll have Natasha read them out to me. But I'm going to go inside the kit. No. Yeah? Okay, so there's a range of, it's about 50-50, so that's good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the inside of our kit, especially for the ones that maybe have not seen it or haven't tried it, so I can tell you what the components are so that you know when purchasing. So it is a 36 application. As you can remember, we have also the lash curl with the rollers. Yeah, okay. So the main difference, solutions are the same, but they're faster. So if anybody remembers using the lash curl before, they range from 20 minutes to 15 minutes. Now it's 8 and 5, standard timing for both the curl and the lift. So 8 minutes for your lash perm, and then 5 minutes for your neutralizer. You have the same layout as a lash curl, where you have your brushes, number 1 and number 2, with your bowls, number 1, number 2, so you avoid intermixing the solutions so that you have a proper application and proper results. You have your orange wood stick as well to roll on the lashes onto the pads, and our solutions, 2 sets of each, which 2 lash perms and 2 neutralizers. And they do expire the same as the lash curl. After 2 months of opening, they are expired. So I always suggest write the date of the ones that you have opened to avoid exposing all of them and having to throw out your products prematurely, and then your costs and this and that you're wasting. So the main difference between our lash lift and our curl is the silicone pad, the lovely silicone pad. So we have 3 different sizes. Let me show you one. So we have the size small. Oh, the light. It's pretty bright, the light, but I'm not quite sure. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is size small, and you can see that there is a bump right here where the lashes are going to rest on. Okay, pretty flexible. There are some out there that are very stiff, so it's very hard to conform to the eyelid of every type of client. So these are wonderfully made, and they are moldable. Okay, so this is our size small. The bigger the pads, the bigger the bump is. You can say the more looser the lift is. The more smaller the pad is, the more dramatic the lift is. So if this is where it comes to, you should be having a consultation with your customer before the service to find out what they're looking for. If they have long lashes, for sure you will be going to a size bigger because the right way to know how you're putting the lashes on is that they have to cover this bump. If they start to go below the bump, then, just make sure you can see it, if you go below the bump, then your lift won't be as effective. If the lashes go above the bump up to the tip out here, then you're becoming too dramatic, the lift, that it might irritate the person because they are so lifted, or maybe even touching on top of the eyelid. So find out what your customer wants, but obviously the smaller the pad is, the more higher the lift will be, the more dramatic, you can say, the lift will be. Okay? So I want to be able to get right, so that's the kit, and always with our lash curls and our lash lift, please make sure you also have the saline solution. Very, very important before you start your service of your lash lift and your lash curl that you have saline solution. This is a step 2 from your first step. You are cleaning with non-oily eye makeup remover, and then you're using saline solution. Many people forget, and then their service is not as effective because this gives a double cleanse. It allows the lashes to have a proper adhesion to the pads and work with the glue because everything has been cleared out and your lashes are fresh. There's no residues left and then no leftover from the mascara. Sometimes people say they've cleaned their eyes, but even a day later, you can still find some little pieces of the mascara in the lashes, embedded in the lashes. This will give you that security so that everything is cleansed and clean and ready to go. Okay? I want to start sooner the actual demo so that everybody can see and ask questions along the way so that I can answer them for you. So we're going to start first with looking at Kippy's lashes and seeing what does she desire. It's going to be a little bit hard to see Natasha when she has a chance. She's going to bring the camera closer because I've disappeared. Sorry about that. So we're just bringing it closer to Kippy. Just, I don't know if you can see, but Kippy turn sideways. We can see her lashes. They have a very little slight lift going on, but she desires them to be more lifted so that when she puts the mascara on, you can actually see the lashes. They look longer, they look fuller because they are being, you can see me, they're being lifted up. So another thing people ask is, what's the difference between a lash curl and a lash lift? A lash curl we know, I'm going to show you with my hands, you can see. Where are we? There we go. A lash curl is bringing the hairs like this, curled in. So you're getting almost like a C curl, okay? But your lift, you're swooping them up like this. So it's a desire of what the customer wants. A lot of people who have the very lashes that shoot straight out and straight down, they do desire, where's my hand? They do desire that curl, that curve like this.
Are you discontinuing the lash curl then?
We are not discontinuing the lash curl because as I'm explaining the difference now, you can know how to work with both of them because that's what the effect that the customer desires. If they want a tight curl, you're going to do a lash curl. If they want a lift, you're going to do a lash lift. So it varies to like I said, to what the customer wants and what type of lashes they have. Okay? So we're going to, does that answer the question? Also, the reason why I keep both as well when I do services is you should be doing patch tests. Okay? So you do your patch test on your glue. You do your patch test on your lash perm. You do your patch test on your neutralizer, anywhere behind the ear here or in the inner forearm, just like you would do with tinting. Okay? If they've had a reaction to the glue, because when we do the lash curl, you're not putting so much adhesive. The rollers have an adhesive already on them, embedded on them, so you're not applying so much glue. So if the person has a reaction to the lash lift glue, you want to be able, because you're putting it all over their lid, to stick the pads on the lid. Then you want to have another option. You don't want to send that customer home without able to do a lift or curl service. So I then change them over to the lash curl. And that way I satisfy my customer and they leave home with beautiful lashes. Okay? So if that answers your question, I hope that answers your question. So we're going to, as we're looking at Kippy's eyelashes, I'm going to go with the size small because she did express to me that she wanted that more dramatic look. The lashes to swoop up, they can show fuller, longer, and then we'll tint them afterwards as they are a little bit lighter. And that way you can see the difference. Natasha, I have a question for you. Sorry. Should we take a before and after picture so that maybe we can show them from the camera? Like we can take it here and then show it after. We can see the difference. What do you think it'll work? We can try and see.
To the video.
To the video? Because I can show it from the phone too. So if you have a better camera, do you want to take one of Kippy's before?
I can take it from my phone and then.
Yeah, and then we'll show it.
In the video. Yeah.
Okay.
Does the glue have latex?
It's non-latex, the glue.
And what's the difference in price between curl and lift?
So the curl, the lift is $149.95, and then the curl is $109. Right. $109, yeah. So there is a gap in the price, but that's because also your lash lift, the silicone pads are reusable. They last longer. And it's a premium service. And it's a premium service, exactly. So That's why there's that price difference. Okay, do you want to okay, yeah. I'm just gonna do before pictures so that we have something. Should we look straight? Thank you. Can I look down? Perfect. Thank you, Natasha. Okay, so we're gonna start now with choosing. I just got a note. Natasha, want me to move this a little bit? Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Okay, so we said we're gonna do the size small. What I'll just do at the beginning is just sanitize my hands. Practice good hygiene, right, before you touch your customer, right? It is flu season, so you want to be careful with that. Okay. So now we're going to grab our silicone pads, our small size, and our glue. Okay. You want to use the same? Oh, you're right. There we go. See, we got. You'd be telling me how to do it. See, I've practiced so many times on her. She knows the stuff. Okay, so we got to do, as I mentioned before, you got to cleanse first. Okay, so even if they come without any makeup on, please still do your non-oily. Just the lighting. Yeah, there we go. Your non-oily eye makeup remover, and this one's micellar. So you have that magnetism kind of technology in there that will help to remove the waterproof mascara, because you don't want, usually you use something that's oil-based to remove the waterproof mascara. So we're going to do this. So even if they have no makeup, please do these two steps, because there is residue from oil, if they're oily, the environment outside by the time they come to the salon, touching their faces. So we're going to do this right here. Is the glue different? Yes. The glues are different between the lash curl and the lash lift. The lash curl glue is a white milky consistency. It also is not as water soluble as the lash lift. The lash lift is extremely water soluble, the glue, because you're putting it all over the pad, over the lid. So you need something to dissolve faster. So they are two different glues. Do not mix them with each other, or else if you use the lash curl with the lash lift, you're going to have a really, really long time removing that glue, potentially even hurting the lashes. So leave the curl glue with the curl and the lash lift glue with the lash lift. Okay? So we're just going to do that cleanse. Perfect. And then we're going to do now the saline solution. Okay? Perfect. Okay. So we've done the prep work. Everything's nice and clear from the pad. Another thing I suggest too is that they have put powder on their face. So they might not wear mascara, but they will put foundation and powder. Try and clear the eyelid from it so that you have proper skin contact of the glue and the pad, because if there's like a barrier there of the makeup, you might have a hard time sticking it on there. As well, if the person has longer bottom lashes, you want to isolate them. Maybe they're not as long, but some people's bottom lashes are extremely long. So you want to use, I'll show you how you would put one on onto the bottom of their eyelashes. So it's our silicone pads. See if you can see that. Yep, it's our black silicone pad. And you would use these. Once again, these are also reusable too. You disinfect them, clean, disinfect them properly. And you would use it, just look up, I can show them. Place it on the top of the bottom lashes to hold it down. Okay? As I mentioned with Kippy, I can do it without it. But if you were not sure at the beginning, try and use these on the bottom lashes, because I've seen when I've done classes that they've attached the bottom lashes to the top. First thing, very painful to remove them, to separate them apart, because you're digging in there and trying to bring them down. You could snap them. Second thing too is that they're going to take the form of the curl, right? So now they're going to be sticking upwards and potentially poking into her eye. So use the silicone pads to isolate the bottom of the lashes. And then when you have to tint, you'll take the silicone pads off and then put them underneath the bottom of the lashes so you can continue tinting. Okay? Perfect. So now, as we have Kippy prepped, we're going to take our size small silicone pad, and on the back side, where it's more of the what do you call it, the indentation of where the groove is, you're going to put the glue. Okay, so I'm going to take the glue. Oh, the timing?
Can you just tell them I'm doing a webinar? Please stop spelling.
Busy Monday morning. Okay. So I just went back and forth just to make sure there's glue all over that part of the silicone pad. I didn't go any higher to this section, just where that raised is. And I'm going to just let it fan out a little bit for 10 seconds. If I were to apply this right away onto her eyelid, on her skin, it hasn't dried out enough. It hasn't dried enough. So it will potentially fall off. So I leave it for about 10 seconds, and then I can apply it onto her lid. Okay?
If you get glue on both top and bottom lashes, how do you remove?
So when it gets attached, and if you realize that they're attached, it's uncomfortable and you want to remove it, yep, right away water. It's water soluble, so you're going to have to use the water to take it off and then redo the step again. Okay, but once the water comes in contact with the glue, it dissolves immediately. Okay, so I'm going to taunt her skin here, and then, oh, close your eyes. Okay, thank you. And I'm going to apply as close to the lash line as I can get it. Okay, perfect. Try not to put it too close into the tear duct there, because some might complain that it's poking. So just lay it as the way of her eye, okay, if everyone can see. So because I let it dry proper timing, it's sticking on there properly. Kippy, you feel good? Mm-hmm. Awesome, okay? So now we'll go to the next one, okay? So that drying time is crucial so that you're not putting it on and it's falling off. I notice if I do it sooner than 10 seconds, it starts to pop off from some of the sides, okay? Once again, you can see I'm just covering that section only right there where the raise is. Okay, and I'm going to allow that 10 seconds drying time. Okay. And you'll do the same thing drying time when you're putting the glue on the top part as well. Okay. Okay, and hold pause. So another step I didn't mention is it's good to also brush out the lashes before. Always carry maybe a, like a disposable mascara wand so that you can brush out the lashes, because sometimes, so I can probably get some here going a little bit. Sometimes some people's lashes, they crisscross. So if you don't brush them out, they can go straighter. When you're rolling them up to the silicone pad, you're rolling them up crisscrossed again, and what will happen is that they will form crisscrossed, right? So it won't look aesthetically pretty. It won't look nice, and it'll have trouble putting the mascara onto. So I like to brush them out.
You always doing up.
So I do a lot of trade shows, a lot of webinars, so sitting up is more ideal as opposed to laying down to be with the camera. But if you're going to be doing this as an aesthetic service, you can do it laying down, not completely flat, give a little raise to the customer. But I find with the lash lift, laying down a little bit better, because when you're applying a solution, you have to apply the solution as close to the lash line. So maybe when gravity hits, sometimes the solution gets really close to the lash line with their skin and no hair, and the person might feel a little bit of a tingling sensation. So I find laying down, I avoid that. So, and it's also a little bit more comfortable for your customer to lay down to in your practitioner, in your spa or salon.
How long does the service take?
You can complete, now it's a webinar, so we're taking time talking and stuff. You can complete this service in 30 minutes, including tinting her brows, even shaping her brows, and then also tinting her lashes after. See, while the solution is on, the first set of solution for 8 minutes, I could be tinting her brows. So there you finished a service while the solution number 1 is on. Then when solution number 2 is on, you just wait 25 minutes, remove the solution off, and then tint directly onto the silicone pads, okay? So 30 minutes, you should be able to complete it all, which is amazing. You can get your customer in and out in 30 minutes and be able to do 3, potentially 4 services on them, okay? Hope that answered the question. So now I'm going to apply the glue on top of the bump right here, okay? Now, here's another thing. If you, for the glue, you have to learn to work with it, meaning that you know, you have to let it dry a certain amount of timing to start rolling the lashes on. Also, some people might feel a little bit irritated how to work with it. So you can put it in sections if you feel like. If you feel like you want to start first, I learned putting the glue all over the whole section of the pad. But if you feel that you're a little bit worried and you want to work it in sections, put the glue on your first section, which is your outer layer of the lashes. Let it dry for that 10 seconds, okay? Are they different like the silicone pad and the silicone pad? That we can find out if you,
Yeah, refills for everything.
yeah, but to your closest distributor, you can buy refills for all. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry a little bit. And like I said, you can start rolling it up in sections. Oh, I have to hold her. Can they see it this way? Yeah.
The bottom ones are sticky.
You feel a little bit funny?
Yeah.
It's not the lashes, it's your skin.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just did, she doesn't have that many hairs in the corner, but I just did the corner like that if you feel like you want to work in sections. But I'll now finish applying it on the whole silicone pad. Okay, as how I do it. But by all means, go by sections if you feel like you want to get used to the glue at the beginning. Do it in sections. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry for 10 seconds. I'll work one eye at a time. Okay. Now, when you're bringing it over the lashes, you want to make them as taut as you can, where you can kind of start seeing that lash line. Okay. So I'm going to start. Okay, I got it. Yeah. So it's a little hard to tell, but you can see a little bit of her lash line starting to show. I don't want to pull too much of it. So I've got the lashes on there, but the other thing is that the glue, because it dissolves pretty quickly, even in the contact of the lash perm solution, it could dissolve. So if you want to feel to secure it a little bit more, you can potentially put a little bit of glue on the top part like this. And then just secure it again. Let it dry. It's crucial. Let it dry for that 10 seconds. And then you can secure. And if they start coming off during step 1, as I mentioned, because of the glue being very dissolvent, that's okay, as long as the lashes have been covered with the step number 1. After that, take off a solution with a dry Q-tip and then re-glue them down, because the neutralizer part is what's going to create the form, make that form in the lashes. So that's when you really want the lashes to be onto the pad. Okay, so don't freak out. It's not the end of it. You didn't do anything bad. Just re-glue them down after you've removed the step number 1 solution from the pad in the lashes with a dry cotton pad. Okay, Q-tip.
Are there disposable applicators available for the glue so we can
Double dipping.
Yeah.
Yes, you can use not necessarily Reflectosol has one, but you can buy from any distributor more of these orange wood sticks. So you have a lot of them, or because this tip has like a part that you can use to dip in the glue, or you can buy the lip gloss disposable ones and have those to apply the glue. So that's a good thing not to double It's good not to double dip so you don't cross contaminate. Yeah.
What is this reaction to the what making?
I would immediately start to remove the solution with a dry Q-tip. Everything dry. You're not starting introducing water. Natasha, is it possible to, remove this so that I can work on this side? So you would need to remove the solution first so that there's no solution on there when you apply the water. Then you take a cotton pad with water, saturated with water, and you start working at the hairs to come off of the silicone pad, and then to take off the pad from the eye, and then take the cotton pad again with some cool water and place it on their skin so that they can feel coolness from the glue. Now you can feel with the glue because it's going directly into your lid. Some people will feel tingling. It's fine. It's just the glue that's touching the skin. But as soon as the tingling starts to get worse and it starts to feel like a burning sensation, then you know potentially that they're allergic. That's why it's good to do patch tests before, so that you avoid using the service of a lash lift, but you use the service of a lash curl, because the glue doesn't come in contact with the skin. But try to work as quick as you can, remove the solution, dry, then apply water, and then apply the cool water onto their lid. The good thing is that everything dissolves so quickly, so you can do that in 1 minute. You can get that off, and then they're not sitting there excruciating and in pain. Okay? So we're going to work on the other side now. And get the glue on. Once again, if you want to work in sections, by all means go into sections or put it all across like how I do. Yes, yeah. I compared it to the lash curl. So, yeah. But if you just ask me if I reminded everyone that everything is numbered in the kit. Your brushes are numbered number 1, your bowls number 1, and your solutions, so that, as I mentioned earlier, you don't intermix your solutions and then inactivate sort of the service. Okay? Is there an MSDS sheet? Yes, it's product. Okay, so you can get that to your customer. They can email us. Yeah. Yeah. You put the email down. Yeah.
Where was it from? There was some issue in the salon about the lash curl.
They had an issue. If you want to type in my actual email, they can tell me and go step by step with them on the lash curl and help and guide them and see what was wrong, what was. And try your best to get the lashes to roll up straight. I can see in some areas where I feel that I rolled too soon. And they're kind of popping off. And once again, I'll picture it with the glue.
Bottom's a little bit cold.
It's once again, it's your skin, it's your hair. The pads are so close to your cheekbone. So they're, yeah.
Is there any types of lashes that the service won't work with?
It should work for all types of lashes. You might find that maybe with shorter lashes, this might be a little bit easier for you as opposed to the lash curl, but it's workable with all types of lashes. Yeah. I've worked on this with even shorter lashes and kitties, and it was good. Sometimes I feel like I like to go to the curl for that. I feel I get a better result when they're extremely short but that's my preference. But otherwise, both kits can achieve beautiful results with all types of lashes. Yeah, just double securing. Once again, you can sort of see that lash line, because I will tell you, I'll explain to you after.
So the issue was that the lashes would not take raw. They tried removing and cleaning and tightening it off, and the lashes
would not fit. Okay. So before I proceed to the solution, we just have a quick question I want to be able to answer for the lash curl. So if the lashes did not want to stick onto the lash curl rod, It could just be that texture, the chemistry of that customer's hair. I've had that happen to me maybe once or twice in all the lash curl demos that I've done. What I found that I had to do is actually take the glue and put it on the back of, put it on the roller. So the rollers are pre-adhesive to begin with, but because the lashes when you were rolling them on didn't want to stick, I put the glue tube on top of that, and then I started rolling the lashes, and then they stuck on. So try that as well. It's just some people's chemistry of their hair is different. They just don't want to stick, even if you did your prep work, even if you did your saline solution. I've had that happen, so I put glue now. I put glue in the back on the roller, and then I put glue in the front for any of the lashes that didn't want to stick onto the roller. So I hope that answered your question for the roller. Now I want to start doing the solutions. So we've got them all up there, we're all secured. So if you remember with the lash curl, who's tried it before, when you're putting the solution onto the rollers, you're putting it to the center of the lashes, because where the roller bends, that's where you're putting the solution, and that's where the hair is going to bend as well. With the lash lift, because it's a lift, you're putting the solution from the center to as close to the lash line as you can get, because you need the lift to start from there to fold the lashes upwards, okay, to bring them upwards. So, excuse me, sorry, lash curl is the center where the bump, where the bend is of the lash curl roller, and then lash lift is from the center to the base, to the root of the lashes, okay, to the lash line. Now, the other thing is to be careful. That's why laying down it's a little bit better. If you see here the lash line of Kippy, she has some skin to there, less hair, more skin. Try and avoid putting the solution that close to the skin, because that's when they're going to start feeling that tingling that's going to intensify. If it happens, no worries. You grab a dry Q-tip and you just take the Q-tip and you wipe as close as you can there, just to remove that solution that touched the skin there. And then you continue with the service. Usually when I do that, they're good to go. Okay? So let's glue expire. Yes, the glue does expire on both kits 3 months after opening. So I grab bowl number 1, step number 1, and then brush number 1. And we're going to squeeze a pea-sized amount. The pea size varies to the type of lashes. An extra small pea, and then extra large pea, depending on the lashes. So you'll know, you'll be able to control. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze in my pea-sized amount of my lash perm. Let me just close this and show you what my pea-sized amount is. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I was going to explain something. I just totally blanked out. I'm so sorry. Yes, I was going to explain to you what the lash perm solution does. For some that might not know, your step number 1 is where you're breaking down the bond, the keratin in the hair, that it becomes workable. And then when you're putting the neutralizer solution onto the hair, you are actually recreating that form, that lift or that curl, according to the pad that you chose and according to the roller that you chose. So that's what you know if your client asks you for, if you're doing training and they ask you what does a lash perm do and what does a neutralizer do. The lash perm breaks down the bond, lash neutralizer recreates the form of the hair. Okay? Now we're going to start applying the solution, as I mentioned, from the base to the, oh my gosh, like, nothing from what I hit you as I was catching the bowl. Okay, so we're going to apply it. Enough to have that saturation. So I'm avoiding the tips. I'm not touching the tips whatsoever. The tips do not need to, it's a lift. The tips do not need to be formed inwards. They need to be lifted up so that they look longer, the lashes, and fuller, okay? So avoid the tips. And then we're going to go to the other side. Sorry, Natasha, I'm gonna have to squeeze in here or go around. And I'm gonna start applying the solution. And from lash line to the center. Once again, if this step you start seeing lashes coming off, just brush them gently so that they don't, you're not brushing them even more off. And then after the timing is up of 8 minutes, you can re-glue them down. Oh, sorry. Sorry. So I'm just applying. Want me to turn a bit more this way? Yes, please. Thank you. Is that better? Perfect. So now we're going to do the timing of 8 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 1 second. Yep, and I can answer any questions that you want to throw away, like throw at me. It's a good time right now so I can answer them. Perfect. I'm just gonna. Any questions, Natasha?
Yes. Some distributors pick and choose and don't offer us the full line. What can you suggest as far as want and availability for full refractive full line?
For them personally to use?
Probably they can't hear the question.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to repeat that aloud? So, okay, so the question was, some distributors do not carry, if I'm reading this right, the full line of Reflectacil. So if there's any suggestions. So my question is, suggestions to yourself on what to buy to carry for your practitioner? Are you trying to tell me between lift or curl? Is that what you're?
No, if they go to their distributor, the distributor can order anything they want.
Yes, but some of them don't.
Well, but usually
Yeah.
they ask them to.
Yeah, so if you find that it's something that you want, you can ask them and tell them, we're not attending this webinar, we want this product from Reflectacil, so are you going to bringing it in, carrying it in? Because the majority do, yes, because they carry the line.
It's 8 minutes for any kind of lash?
So 8 minutes, yes. Do not exceed the 8 minutes or the 5 minutes. The solution, the timing is extremely fast now, and that's the timing that you should stick to. Now, they did say from the manufacturer that if it didn't work out for you at the beginning, you can redo it for 4 minutes. But I have found that I never had to do that. The 8 minutes and the 5 minutes was sufficient enough. Okay, but keep it at 8 or 5 minutes for all types of lashes.
And if the lashes don't stay, could 8 minutes possibly over process them?
So I never had that, once again, that issue, but on that question, I have sent that question to the manufacturer because I want to know personally if we can lower it, the timing for lashes that are very, very thin. But otherwise, I've done it on lashes that are very thin, does not overprocess it. But when you're done your service, you should be using an aftercare product. Regardless of whatever you're using to process the hairs or the lashes or the brows, you should be using the styling gel, which is an aftercare product. And it protects your service that you just did, also protects the color that you done when you tinted, but it also hydrates. So just like when you go to the salon and you've had your hair colored, they don't send you just home after they rinse it with water. They've done the shampoo and then they've done the conditioner to provide back moisture and hydrate the hair. The same thing you should do with the lashes. And this is a retail item. You can sell this to your customer to take home and use it daily on their hairs, on their lashes, and even on their brows. It's a beautiful product also to use if your brows, you want to fill them in, but they're very unruly. They stick up everywhere. This can soften them to lay down better onto your brow, and then you can shape them how you'd like. So I use this every morning before I fix my brows.
Okay. If you were doing a lash curl, would you be putting it into the tub?
No, the lash curl that I mentioned, you use a solution right into the center of the roller, okay? So the roller, whoever's seen the curl, it's a cotton pad that has adhesive all over it. You take that cotton pad and you put it onto the eye, and only the center of where the lashes are, you put the solution. You don't put it at the base or you don't put the tip. Because the solution, when you put in the center, it's going to create that bend, and it's going to bring the lashes back to that C curl. If you start saturating everywhere, then the curl can then eventually start becoming coiled looking. And that won't be, once again, aesthetically pretty looking, and it will affect the client look. You won't be able to see the lashes. They're all coiled in. And then you wouldn't be able to put mascara on them. And I've heard with other brands that has happened to their clients, where it became overly coiled, and they were very upset. It doesn't look pretty at all, and it's irritating you because the hair is all the way in the back. So I hope that answered the question. I'm not quite sure if there's any more other questions. I can't see that far.
Are there general guidelines for choosing lift rather than curl?
Are there general guidelines when using lift or curl? So as I had mentioned before, general guidelines. So you should be using, as I mentioned, your saline solution prior.
No, I think they can choose them.
Oh, how to choose? Which one you want to choose? As I mentioned before, it's preference to your client's look. If your client wants a curled look, a more defined look, you have to almost you're doing a consultation with them before to find out what they're achieving, what do they want for their lashes. So I've had customers telling me, I like that rounded curl. And so I know I'm going to go right away to the curl. I've had customers that, no, don't need to use the curl. I have longer lashes. They have long lashes, and they just want that more lift so that they look longer and fuller.
Lift is good for making the eyes look more
wider. Yeah, both end up doing that, but the lift will achieve more of a wider look in your eye. But with both effects, you're seeing the lashes more. But I carry both. I have both, and I give my clients the option. I describe to them by giving them the whole hand look, like if they want to curl like that or if they want to lift it, and then I know.
When the lift goes out, does it look crimpy?
No. Does not at all. It just, what happens when the curl and the lift after 4 to 6 weeks, they start to lower. So the effectiveness of the curl, it starts to roll out. The lift, it starts to go lower.
Can you relax lashes if the client isn't happy with the results?
So yes, but only 4 minutes. Oh, can you relax the lashes if the customer was not happy with it? So yes, that's why interviewing them before or consulting them before is very important, because you don't want to avoid doing the double process. But I would go ahead and do the, if they were overly curled or lifted, I would go back and do this lash curl solution with the curl, 4 minutes only, only 4 minutes. You can do again the next step, but you would either go to a higher pad or a bigger curl, a roller, because if it was too tight, you want to uncurl that. If it was not tight enough, you want to go to a smaller pad and smaller roller. Does that make sense? So if they were not curled enough, you choose a smaller size. If they were not lifted enough, choose a smaller size. If they were lifted overly, curled overly, choose a bigger size in the pad.
Talk about pricing and cost.
So pricing of the service?
Yeah,
versus
okay. Cost, I guess.
Versus cost of the product.
What's in general?
Yeah.
So should they be charging?
So you should be charging for a lash lift and lash curl. You can keep them potentially the same pricing or go a little bit higher with your lash lift. So from $50 to $85, that's a range that you could see for a lash lift or a lash curl. If you're going above 85, we're going close to 100. I'm hoping that you're including a tint, or a champagne or something. But I hope you're including a tint with that. The service is pretty fast, so it's in between $50 to $85. It depends on your clientele. It depends on your region, your demographic.
Okay, going back to I'm happy with the results. 4 minutes for processing and neutralizer.
Sorry, say it again.
4 minutes for processing and neutralizer, or less time for neutralizer?
So they said 4 minutes for both, which I'm also in contact with manufacturers to make sure that that's true. But they did say 4 minutes for both. Back in the day when we had the lash curl, if you wanted to redo the service again, you didn't have to go back again and do 20 minutes and 15 minutes. You just did it 5 minutes for both solutions. So I'm sure it's the same thing, 4 minutes for both solutions. Okay, so the timing is up for the lash perm. Yes, lash perm. So I'm going to take a dry Q-tip, okay, and I'm going to start removing. And I'm careful not to do excessively rubbing. I'm going in upwards motions, okay. So with that security that I did at the top of the glue, they managed to stay on. They didn't fall off. So that's another trick that you can do to avoid. Sorry. Okay, now we're going to do the other side as well. Sorry. I have to hold this from top. Sorry. Okay, so moving. Sorry, I'm just going to grab one more Q-tip. I just want to make sure there's no, we did go very close to the lash line. So I just want to make sure I've gotten it all, okay? Sorry? I can't, yeah, you can put it back and tell me the question. Oh, no.
Do them all the other ones.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I can see like a couple of lashes that did fall off. So let me show you that they just really minimal, 1 or 2, but let me show you what you would do so that you know. I would take the glue again, okay, and just put it in that area that I saw where the lashes were coming off. Okay, let that drying time. 10 seconds, sorry, 10 seconds. Let it dry. Once again, if you start rolling the lashes right now while it's wet, what's going to happen is the lash is going to fall off. So you have to give that 10 seconds drying time. Sorry, could you turn this way? I'm just going to get that hair that I see. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to grab the solution number 2. Oh, thank you. Solution number 2 with the bowl number 2. Once again, pea-size amount. This is the step, the neutralizer step, that now we are recreating that form, okay, that lift. And same method, apply it from the center to the lash line, okay. Let me grab my brush number 2. So they ask you don't reuse that glue on anybody else since you've used on that customer. I know here in Canada it's very big on double dipping. So as I mentioned, you would get your disposable. If you were to do this to your clients, it wouldn't be suggested. So please get your disposable lip gloss wand or your orange wood stick. The lip gloss wands work a little bit better with this glue though. Okay, so get your disposable so that you avoid double dipping and that you can reuse this glue on everybody as opposed to just one client, you know, and then you're spending on buying more glue. Okay, so by all means, yes, please get disposable applicator sticks for the glue. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with the neutralizer. So center to the lash line, do not put it on the tips. Perfect, and we're going to turn to be my way, please. Thank you. We're going to do the other side. And pretty, straightforward on how to apply it. Follow this method of application and you will have a good outcome, a good lift. And we're going to leave this on for 5 minutes. So I'm just making sure I got. Yes, you do. But as I mentioned, if you find that there's more skin, less. So the question was, do you go as close to the lash line as possible? Yes. Just make sure that if the hair starts to be less and more skin, avoid it then. You want to be able to be using this only on the hair so that they're not getting that tingling sensation that starts to turn into burning, okay? Because it's meant for the hair, not for the skin, okay? But as you can see, I'm holding taut the eye up here so I can get, so I can get as much as I can get close to the lash line. That's why I said laying down, you get a better feel, okay? Okay, so we're leaving that on for the 5 minutes. Let's set the timer. Yes. So say for example now during that 8 minutes we did her brows. Okay. So there you succeeded on tinting their brows. Now after during the 5 minutes, if there's no other service that you're doing onto them, never leave the customer while they're in the bed, the chair when you're working in their eye area because it's the eye area. So either give them a hand massage, give them a back massage, right? I suggested I have to do it, right? Yeah.
When can you do eyelash curling?
When can we do eyelash curling? When?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is when can we do a curling? When can we do an eyelash lift? So I had that quote, as I had mentioned before. That is a preference or an option of what the customer desires, look. But also, if the customer is allergic to the lash lift glue, you want to be able to give them another option as opposed to sending them hopeless, that they can't get a service done. So curl would be good for people who are allergic to the lift glue. Also, curl is really good if the lashes are extremely straight out and short and they want a curl because they've never had a curl. Lift is nice for the lashes that are long already, but they desire them to look a little bit more fuller. So that's why the lift will help. So you're asking your customer, you're getting that feel of what they like, and then you tell them which service would work good for what they like. Yeah.
So in the case that Kitty has very skin on her lip,
She's all.
Can you take the lift up so the product doesn't bleed onto lower lid?
Well, now that she laughed, we got that problem. Kitty, you're making me look bad. Sorry. Okay, let me just clean this for a second before I go to answer the question.
That's for lying down. It's probably easier.
Yeah, lying down is so much easier. Yeah. Okay, so the question was, if the skin is a little bit more loose, if the skin is a little bit more loose, can we tape up the lid? So you can use the eyelash extension tapes if you'd like. What I had done is that I held her eye taut when I applied the pad. So that worked for me. But if you feel also you don't want touching the skin underneath on her bottom cheek, please use the silicone pads, right? That will help to avoid the solution touching the skin, and it goes onto the pad. If you want to use the tape for more taunting, that's up to your discretion. Don't taunt it extremely too much where the eye is starting to open, because then solutions will get into it and they'll feel irritation. So you have to be safe even on that method as well, how tight you're putting. Yeah.
How frequently this curls can be done?
So the service should last 4 to 6 weeks, should go up to 6 weeks, depending on the client, how they're washing their face, this or that. The service varies on how long they last. They shouldn't be coming back, I would suggest, not earlier than 4 weeks. If the 4-week mark hits and they're like, oh, I see my lashes, 4 to 6 lashes come out, or 2 to 4 lashes come out per week. So they're starting to see kind of like straighter lashes and curl lashes. They can come on the 4th week mark. Anything earlier, you might risk doing a over processing. So you don't want to start drying out the lashes, which we're saying our solutions have cysteine and collagen in them, our lash perm, which help with the structure of the hair growth, help with giving hydration because it's got the amino acids. But still, even with products like that have good ingredients, you still gotta be careful you're not overly processing it. So don't do it before 4 weeks. If they achieved a really good lift or curl, they should wait after 4 weeks.
If you're just starting to offer lifting, does the kit have everything you need in it to get started?
Okay, so if you're just starting to do a lash lift service, does the kit have everything you need? Yes, it has your yes, eager beaver. I was gonna get there. I'll tell you guys everything that was in there. The 3 sizes of the silicone pads: the small, medium, large. Your 2 sets of brushes. You know, your number 1, number 2, your bowl, so you have everything. Your glue, your solutions. Just as Kippy has mentioned, is your saline solution and your eye makeup remover. But if you're tinting already with Reflectisol, you should have our Reflectisol micellar eye makeup remover, and then you would have to get the saline solution.
Can the client use a lash growth serum while having lifted lashes?
Yes, because the serum is going on the base of the, sorry, the question was, can you use let me just get this timer to stop. Can you use a lash lift, can you use a lash growth serum after they've done the service? I would say yes, because you're putting that solution very finely, as close to the lash line as possible. You're not slathering it on over the lashes. So my only concern is if you start using stuff that have oil base, you might be breaking down the service a little bit earlier. That's why we suggest your eye makeup remover to have non-oily. If you're going to use a waterproof mascara, use our micellar type of eye makeup remover to remove it. Does that help answer the question? Okay.
How many lifts does the lift kit get you?
So it gets you 36 applications. Okay, so you can do 36 lifts. Sometimes the solution might vary depending if you're overly squeezing out the piece size amount, you might be wasting product. So it might not reach your 36, it might reach your 33 applications, but you should be able to do 36 applications. All right. So it's $4, still $4. Just over $4 per application of a lash lift. Yeah. So I'm just removing with a dry Q-tip all the solution because we will tint. I can show you tinting onto the pad, or we can remove it. It's up to you guys. But I can show you how to tint onto the silicone pad. So you want to make sure that it's cleared out from the solution, okay? Okay, so we got the one side. I'm going to do the other side. So pretty quick, the timings. They're really fast now, as opposed to before. Almost an hour. Okay, so let's do the tinting. And tinting is only 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes, you leave it on, as opposed to before we used to leave it on for 10 minutes. So because it's been processed the hair, no need to leave it that long, okay? So let me grab the blue block for Kippy. And if everybody remembers how to use the tinting, I'm going to be doing my just 1 centimeter, so I don't have too much wastage of tint. And I'm going to put my, my 8 drops of my, but in general, so I'm just doing the 1 centimeter. In general, it is 2 centimeters of tint to 15 drops of cream oxidant or 10 drops of liquid. I got the cream, so I'm going to do 8 here. Okay. And I'm going to, now, if you wanted, so when you tint on the silicone pads, people might ask, well, how do you get the bottom of the lashes? Some clients, because when I do demos, some people say, oh, don't worry about my bottom lashes, okay. Some people want it, some people don't. If the person wanted their bottom lashes tinted, you would have to take the silicone pads off and then put the black silicone pads underneath the bottom lashes and then start tinting. Okay, I know people like this part of being able to tint on the silicone pad. So
Is this a new formula for the reflective lash tint?
is it a new formula?
Yeah.
The lash tint? No, no new formula. Well, was the brown kippy that they changed the formulation on?
No,
So why
2
is
years
it?
ago.
Well, that was 2 years
I
ago.
guess it's why is it 2 minutes?
Because
It's been processed, the hair, already. So it's gonna suck in the color extremely quick because it's been processed. If you were to leave it the full 10 minutes, then you risk of over processing and drying up the hair or damaging the hair. Yeah. What's the next question?
That was the next one. Why is it 2 minutes and not 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah. 10 minutes is if you're just doing a tint. 2 minutes if you've done a lift or a curl. Okay? The follicle has been already opened. So it's going to suck in the color faster. Okay? It's going to penetrate too faster. Okay, so I got my mixture. And we can do it directly onto the pad.
Can you use any kind of brand, any brand of tint?
no, just reflective.
Oh no, can you use any? You're laughing, you're gonna get your cheeks stained. Okay, so obviously if you have another brand,
Throw it away.
well, Kippy just throw it away and use refractive salt. Or the question is, why aren't you using refractive salt? But we can't tell you no. Of course, you can use another tint, but I would suggest that you try refractive salt, feel the quality, and it's been around for over 75 years, so you've got a good brand out there. I'm going to put the other side too. Kippy, can you turn on my side? Thank you. So it's faster, that you avoid it a little bit faster if you're tinting directly onto the pad, but I have customers that want their bottom lashes tinted, so I remove it. Okay, so we're going to set that up for 2 minutes on my timer. Do that. Let's start that. Let me just make sure I got the lashes saturated. So I just tend to go over a little bit more and just fill in gaps. So that you feel that we're saturated.
How do you tint how do you tint bottom lashes while curling?
Same thing. You would have to remove the rollers. You have to remove them. So you would have to dissolve it with the water, remove them, take your pads, put them underneath, close the eye, and start tinting. So with the curler, it's a must to remove them. You can't tint on the roller because it has an adhesive on it.
Why does service eyelash curl break off so quickly?
Say that again.
Why does service eyelash curl break off so quickly?
Okay, that question is a little bit confusing. Why? Can you re-clarify the question of why do lashes break off after? What was it again?
I don't think that's
fall off so quickly. Are you talking about step number 1, the lash perm part? I had mentioned that because the glue is water soluble, it dissolves extremely quickly. So the solution, step number 1, when it penetrates and it touches the glue, it's going to dissolve it, and then the lashes will start to come off from the pad. That's why I had said at the beginning, secure some more glue on top, let it dry, and then roll them, and then you've got that glue secured on the top. And if they do fall off during your step number 1, no problem, as long as they're saturated with the solution. After the 8 minutes is up, take a dry cotton pad, wipe off the solution, then re-glue them down. But make sure that you wipe off that solution, okay? If you don't, it's going to be a mess of a solution with the glue, and it's not going to stick, okay? So let me stop that. See, pretty quick, pretty fast, pretty quick. I'm going to take my Q-tip. I'm going to remove the tint. I can already see they've got really dark, and once I can see that. Okay, Kippy?
Yeah, no stinging at all.
Can we put the silicone pads in barbicide?
It's an intermediate level disinfectant, so yeah, but I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest, because if you leave them in there for too long and then you don't take them out, you're just making the application of it not to last long. Use Preempt RTU. If you've heard of the brand Preempt, use the RTU disinfectant to clean and disinfect them. The RTU does both. It cleans, so it acts like a water and soap, and then it disinfects. So you can store them in a container that has, a proper container for the next customer to use. So I'm gonna dry first. Anything we do, and especially with tint too, we want to do it dry because we don't want the solution to go into their eye and feel stinging. So I do everything dry first.
Why the eyelashless curl? What are the chances that it can wear off in a week?
Slim.
It shouldn't wear off in a week. If the customer is putting oil-based stuff on her eyelashes and sleeping with it or masking her eyelashes, maybe they might break it down, but I've never heard of it lasting only a week. If that happens, they probably didn't do this. The service was done properly. The timings weren't left on properly. The solution wasn't put enough on there, or the lashes all were not on the pad, so some of them were straight, some of them. So they should get, I say 4 to 6 weeks, because up to 4 weeks, if somebody was using it not properly, like was not using aftercare properly, meaning that they were putting oil-based stuff, they were scrubbing their eyelashes in the shower and stuff like that, I would say 4 weeks it would last. If there was somebody who was taking precaution and not using waterproof mascaras, not using oily eye makeup remover, also using our styling gel every day to seal the service, they can last 6 weeks or even more, a little bit more.
Should you wear gloves?
You can wear gloves. It's not mandatory like waxing, where you're supposed to be wearing gloves, or pedicures, because there's a lot of you can contaminate yourself with a lot of what do you call it, staph or infections that are happening. But if you feel like you want to wear gloves, by all means. I sanitize. My hands are washed with soap and water prior to this, but I also have always, everywhere I go, I carry my hand sanitizer. Yeah. Okay, so now we can introduce water. Okay. So I have my little handy water bottle with me here. So I'm going to squeeze some water, not overly wet, so that the water starts dripping into their eye and then the solution goes into the eye. So you'll see as soon as I start touching the lashes start to come off. See, they're already off of the pad. The lash start to release. That's the right word. Release from the pad. So quick. Okay. So I'm just gonna make sure there's no tint. Okay, and now I can, with the water, go to their skin. Does that feel kippy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. See how easy that was?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very easy.
It didn't hurt at all.
No.
No.
You
Didn't
still,
feel stinging, nothing.
She didn't feel anything, but still when I'm removing the pad, I still hold their skin taut. Okay? Good. Okay. So let's do the other side now. Now, once again, we can introduce the water. Going in upward motions just to remove whatever tint there was on there. Once again, they've released from the pad so quick, super quick. Okay. So this is nice because you don't risk pulling.
Show how you remove it on
Sure.
camera without blocking.
So I hold the skin like this.
And it peels off.
And it peels off. If you feel like it still feels secure, I have my cotton pad with water. And it just comes off. But, you want to hold.
If you don't tint, do you still use water to remove lashes from the pad?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so if you don't tint, do you still use water on the cotton to remove the lash from the pad? Yes, because the water is going to help dissolve the glue. You wouldn't be able to remove it without without water. You need to use the water. Yeah. Perfect. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to still have my cotton pad with the water with me, just in case when she opens up, she might feel a little bit of stinging. Sometimes we get that with the tint. If it's hiding in areas, it might stunt them. So I have the pad. So Kippy, can you slowly open up and tell me if you feel anywhere? Do you feel anywhere stinging?
That one's stuck shut.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, it's stuck from the beginning, right here. So if that happens when the skin is touching each other and it's closed, just take the glue, the water. So the skins were close together. And just like that, work at it. Can you see now? Perfect. Oh, one stinging. Close now and see. Does that feel better?
That's good, I think.
All right.
A little bit stinging that
Yeah,
side,
okay, so when that happens, take another cotton pad, cool water. So tint must have been hiding somewhere, creeping on the corner that I didn't clean it properly. I saturate it with water. I place it on her eye, and I pat it like this. Any tint that's anywhere should gravitate towards the water. Does that feel better? Yep. So just water. So I saw a little bit of tint. So that was my fault. Okay. I don't know if you can already tell, but we haven't stopped. We haven't finished yet. We want to get on the aftercare. So disposable mascara wand. We got our styling gel. Okay. Oh, thank you. It does look beautiful.
Even from here, they look dark.
The lashes are dark.
My lashes are so light normally. Yeah.
Okay, so I got, look straight. We're just putting, so this is the styling gel. Okay, I'm protecting the hair from being processed, giving it back hydration. Also, the tint is going to last longer because I'm sealing it. Once again, this product is a retail product.
What's the price?
I believe it for retail it goes 32, was it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Or no, maybe it might be 30. I don't have the prices with me, but it's in the 30 range. I'm just gonna clean that lashes. Not to stick on your skin. Sorry. Give me 1 second. There we go.
Gorgeous.
Perfect. So what we'll do now is we'll use the phone and do an after picture. I'm sure you can see it from how close the camera was, but if we do an after picture, I can put it on the camera and see what it looks like. You can see. Yeah. Oh, were you able to see? Do you want me to bring the camera closer again, or were you able to see the after effect? Everybody was good. And even if she turns, can you bring the camera back if she turns sideways, Kippy? Yeah. Just give us a second. When Kippy turns sideways, I don't know if that's clear enough. No.
Yeah. Well, we can put it on.
You can see the lashes are showing now are up and black. So, and you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but you can see the lift, how they're shooting up. I just hope everybody can see the. And you know what this helps with? The color in her eyes pops out even more with the tinted lashes, and now that her lashes are showing, right? So how did you guys feel about the service? Yes, I was talking in the webinar, so we didn't fully able to complete it in 30 minutes, but you can see how easy it is to do this service and how easy it is to complete a brow tint, a lash tint, a lash lift, or lash curl. And I even include in there a brow styling with our strips. I wax their brows as well.
So can the glue processing solution and neutralizer be purchased outside of the kit?
Yes. Everything in the kit, you can buy it open stock as well, but use it in connection with the Reflecta sale.
Looks amazing.
Looks good?
Wonderful.
Looks really good.
I'm just reading the comments.
Well,
So thank you.
I have Natasha reading out the comments, and I'm hearing everybody saying it's beautiful, looks wonderful.
Well, and I had one done early September. It lasted a good 8 weeks.
Before
I noticed that it needed to be redone. Yeah.
So I had done Kippy's lash curl. We got it out. Brought it into us. I want to test it out, and we did it in September, and
Like the beginning
of September.
Yeah.
And until maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe about 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
she started to notice that then they were starting to be lower, right? But also new growth came out, so it was almost wonky, like meaning that there was half still lifted,
Well,
half,
it needed
yeah,
tinting.
yeah, I needed tinting as well, but she got a good wear out of it.
As always, fantastic. That's
Oh.
Christy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I can't read that far, but thank you so much. I hope everybody, oh, thanks, Shannon. I hope everybody, you know, understands the concept of it, understands the difference between the lash lift and the lash curl, what to achieve. The both solutions are the same in both the lash curl and the lift, so
Well, the clients
Yeah.
will love it.
the clients will love it
Yeah.
big time.
And
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. If you have any questions for the processing, the service, or you've tried it and you've had a little bit of a hiccup along the way and you want my help, by all means, email me, and I can troubleshoot it with you and help you too. The only thing I can say that might be a little bit of an issue is the glue. But once you learn to, Kippy can tell you, was I like freaking out the first time I used the glue? Yes, right? So now the glue has become my friend. You have to learn to also love what you're doing, and then everything, the product you're trying out works with you. So I work with the glue, and now I know how to use it. I know how to troubleshoot it for any problems that everybody encounters, and I love it. I love it. I still love the curl too. I love
Well,
both.
tell them when they're lying down, they should stand behind the client.
Yes. So when you're doing it lying down onto the bed, you're working behind the client, right? So their head, it's actually nice because their head and everything, their lashes you're above them. So you can taunt them better. You can roll them better. I'm mobile, so I do it laying down with a massage bed, and I find it so much easier. The curl, there's not that problem where you have to do a taunt. So if you're in, what do you call it, a lash and brow bar that you own, they can sit in those chairs, but a lot of those chairs also recline and have a headrest. So they would work perfect for a lash lift and lash curl if you don't have a bed, per se.
So this training is sufficient enough to do
Yeah.
it now.
So the question is this training sufficient enough for me to be able to do a lift?
Go out and have fun.
Yes, go out and purchase our Rebecca's Lash Lift. Try it out, and you have my email. Give me a call. Let me know if you had any problems, but you will love it. And tinting afterwards, it was super quick. And always do the service of a lash lift and a lash curl. And always do a lash lift and a lash curl. Kippy's a busy woman. Do you want me to let you go? Okay,
Bye, ladies.
we're gonna sign off Kippy because she's a busy. Oh, you want me to sit in the chair? She's a busy worker. So I was gonna say that always do a tint after a lash lift and a lash curl because you emphasize the service even more, right? Especially for people who might have lighter hairs, lighter eyelashes. When you color it, tint it, the definition of the hair shows even more. The lift shows even more. The curl shows even more. So always offer that service with a tinting. Even if their lashes may seem darker, you can see a difference too when you tint them after a lift or a curl, and it's only 2 minutes more.
And there's no exams or training
So
for certificates.
if you need a certification, depending on where you're located, our distributors do hold classes for a lash lift. If you want to find out further information, just once again, shoot me an email. I can see what area you are, see if there's any classes, because you do need, for a certificate, you do need to do the class. And that's depending where you are, it could be a hands-on class or it could be a seminar type of class. So once again, shoot me the information or any questions you have for education for classes, and I can help you with that further. Is that it? Any other questions? Anything else you want to ask me? Did it seem straightforward? Before we sign off, is there anything else that you might want to ask so I can physically tell you right now? Just wait. I'll wait like a minute or two.
So the client comes in, they're coming for a tent, but then they decide to do a curl or lift. How soon after the tent can you do the other service?
So a customer came in to do a tint, and then they're like, oh, I want to get a curl. How soon afterwards can you do it? I would The thing is, I would suggest come back after 2 weeks, but then you might even break down the color that they already put into their lashes, and you might have to retint again after that service. So in that sense, I would say 3 weeks. If you were just going to go straight ahead and do a lift or a curl after a tint, I would say 2 weeks. If you're going to tint again, I would say 3 weeks, because the solution in the perm and the neutralizer can potentially break down the tint service that you did before, right? But this is the best thing, the best way for you to do as the owner or as the practitioner is tell the person, have you heard of lash lift? Have you heard of a lash curl? Before your tint, would you like to get this service done? And explain to them what it does, what it will do to their look, how it will brighten up their eyes, how it will make them look wider. And in that sense, they do both services in the same day, and you're offering them a combo pricing.
Okay. Can they take a shower and wash their face the same day?
So yeah, so the manufacturer doesn't really give us any aftercare of if they say it's fine to go take a shower afterwards and water them. I say wait 2 hours or so. You know, I personally give this information when I train. You don't want to go right away in the shower and start rubbing your face and stuff like that. Let the work have penetrated better, and I always say 2 to 4 hours after you can go ahead and go into the shower. But in other say they say it's fine. You can wet your face.
Can you show products one by one in the kit?
Sure. So the question was, can you show one by one products in the kit? I haven't cleaned them yet or disinfected them. I'll actually, so they might be a little dirty, sorry about that. But let me show you also this. When you can either use this preempt, which is accelerated hydrogen peroxide formulation, which the RTU wipes work as a disinfectant and cleaner. So you know every time you disinfect anything, you have to clean it first with soap and water. This does both. Okay, so the one side of the pad, I will brush, scrub my tools, my brushes, and then after that, I would turn the other side of the pad, the wipe, and then put the solution on them, leave it on for 3 minutes, the contact time, and then dry it with a paper towel and store them back in the kit. This is the product I was saying. Otherwise, if you want to use alcohol, you can use alcohol. It evaporates, a little bit harsher. This is what I use. Okay. Now the products that were in the kit. So you have your solutions. Oh, Natasha, you have my kit. Sorry, I'm like, where'd it go? So it's not complete now, but you have your little pockets here for your 3 different sizes. So we have small that we use on Kippy, we have our medium, and then we have our large, okay? And then on this side here, let's put the mediums back in. Then on this side here, you have your 2 different sections for your lash perm and your neutralizer. So you have your bottles like this, okay? Oh, can you see that? Oh, it's blurry. There you go. So they're all the lash perm and neutralizer are these sizes of tubes, and there's 2 sets of each so that you can make 36 applications, okay? And then you have your, once again, my tools are not cleaned yet, I have to clean them, but you have your section in here that the glue goes, okay? So that's the glue. Now the other way you'll know that you're using the right glue and you're not mixing it with the lash curl, the lash curl glue has a milky white consistency, okay? And then the lash lift glue is clear, okay? So that goes in here. Then you have your section, which I have to toss this away, I can't use it again, but that's the section you would have for your orange wood stick. And then your other section would be for your brushes, brush number 1 and number 2. So that's all that you have in there. And then you also have your booklet, your instruction booklet in many different languages. So that's what all comes into your kit. As I mentioned, the extra item that you have to get is your saline solution. Okay, very important that you have this. Also, if you're using our tint, like Reflectosol tint, you should have this as the eye makeup remover. If not, use this. I love it because, why? It acts like a lash strengthening. I don't know if you can tell. You can read. Oops, sorry. It says lash strengthening down there. This is perfect as well if you're bleaching brows. You can use this to wipe off the bleach after because it will strengthen the hairs. Okay, so our eye makeup remover is a little bit up there in the scale of being more, I guess you could say, higher quality with the micellar, not oily, and lash strengthening. So those are the 2 extra things you would have to get apart from the kit. And then you'll start replenishing. Your pads, you can use the pre-up wipes to clean up your pads. The only negative thing about when you tint onto the pads is that they leave a little bit of a staining. Try to clean them as fast as you can right away, but a little stain stays on the pad. So eventually down the road, they start to look a little bit dirty looking. That I always carry extras with me, and because you don't want to bring that dirty one out to your customer. It's not dirty because you cleaned it, but the staining makes it look dirty. So always have extra pads around, all sizes. As I mentioned before, the pads, please make sure the hairs don't go past the bump. If they go past the bump, you're going to achieve a very defined, extremely defined lift where the customer's going to be irritated. And then do not go below the raise, the bump, or else you're not going to achieve a lift at all. It's going to be a very weak lift. Okay? Yeah.
So no oil-based products on the eyes ever, or just first couple of days?
I would say, so the question was no oil-based products around the eyes ever, or just the first couple of days. It's depending how long the customer wants their service to last. I always say avoid use, if you're gonna, don't use waterproof mascara then. If you really need to use waterproof mascara because you avoid it from tearing down and staining, then make sure you use a micellar eye makeup remover. If you start putting in oils, even if you start using masks for your eyelashes that have oil base, they'll just break down the service longer. So you'll notice that it didn't last me 6 weeks. It only lasted me 4 weeks. So it's up to you. It's up to you how long you want. You as a professional, use the proper product. When the person goes home, as their home care, it's really hard for you to control that. So let them know why they should use this, but if they use this other method, this is what will happen. Does that make sense? So try to give them...
So is it 2 hours to wait before the mascara to put in the corner?
No, you can put the mascara on right away. And once again, like I mentioned, if you start to use a waterproof mascara, then you're going to have to use something to dissolve it more. So that will cause a problem, so fleshly. So if you're going to use a regular mascara, that's fine. When they go home at night, tell them to use a micellar. Tell them to buy a micellar or non-oily eye makeup remover. Yeah.
It's time people replicate prices as well.
So
they're different in US and Canada.
I don't know the US pricing. That's the thing. If you really want to know a little bit further for the pricing and stuff like that and where to purchase, depending what area you are, shoot me an email and then I know where to send you to which distributor. Yeah.
Is the tint acceptable for brows too?
The question is the tint acceptable for brows too? Yes. Our Reflectisol tints are for both lashes and brows and beards. So it's safe. Only you have to make sure you only use our oxidant of 3%. Some people go higher. Nope. The percentage of the oxidant along with our tint are the right ones to make a safe tint around the eye area or on the hair on the face. Anything higher, you're being too harsh. So yes, you can use our tint on both the brows, lashes, and beard. That's it. So thank you so much for today. Once again, feel free to email me if you have any more questions when you've tried this out. I will help you as much as I can. I'm so glad everybody joined. We had a really good turnout. Happy for that. I'm happy to hear your feedback as well when you try it out. Okay? Thank you. Thank you once again for spending your day here with me and the rest of my team that helped me out today. Thank you. And wherever you are, have a wonderful day or night.